Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another day in the virtual swamp. Today's lesson, revving up for the revolution. Target questions for today. What was the purpose of the first Continental Congress? So today we're going to track the colonial response to the events that took place in Boston. So not only the Boston Tea Party, but then the King and Parliament's intolerable response. So let us begin another day here in the swamp. We're clocking in, folks. Everybody's hands are up and down. Previously in the swamp. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. So previously in the swamp, all right, we saw the conclusion of the Boston Tea Party unfold, and then I had you guys cast a Flipgrid response pertaining to the Sons of Liberty and whether or not they went too far. All right, but the first thing that I wanted to point your attention to was a question that was involved about the coercive acts. All right, and I put up here intolerable or justified. And judging by your answer from the Ed puzzle, you knew that the king was going to strike back, and you knew the king was going to do something. All right. And not only one punishment for the people of Massachusetts, well, Boston specifically, but Massachusetts in general, but multiple punishments. And you guys had a very tough time as a collective unit deciding on which of those punishments were the worst, which tells me that you thought all of them were bad. So the closing of the harbor, incredibly terrible, right? Now the colonists can't bring goods in or out or export goods as well. Taking away the right to self-govern. A lot of you guys communicated that was something that they really appreciated. There was the fact that they got political freedom and they got to make their own says and make their own law. And again, having that stripped away from them, in your estimation, was very harsh. Sending more soldiers in, I think we all understand the violation of privacy there, and just living in fear, right? That these soldiers are not only are there more of them, but their trials for any, I guess, crime that they violate is going to be transported overseas. So not only is there more soldiers and British officials, but ones in which that feel as if they're invincible and free from punishment. Now, the second question that really caught my attention as I was checking in work, grading work, was the question about the Sons of Liberty and whether they went too far. And believe it or not, many of you thought that they did. I was suspecting that many of you said, oh no, Sons of Liberty, that was a great job. They stuck up for the rights of all the people that were having their rights violated, and they put their foot down and told the king and told Parliament that they weren't going to have their rights violated anymore. They weren't going to be taxed without representation anymore. But you guys actually saw it the other way. And I think a lot of you guys made reference to something that may have happened to you in school, perhaps, where maybe one or two bad apples spoiled the bunch. Meaning maybe you had one or two kids in your class that caused a lot of problems, or maybe they got under the skin of your teacher. And then the teacher, instead of punishing that one or two students, punished the entire class. And I think we all are of the opinion that that is incredibly unfair. So likewise, I think many of you are of the mindset that punishing the entire population of Boston and Massachusetts and taking away some of their rights just for the actions of the Sons of Liberty is a bit out of line, and that the Sons of Liberty overstepped their boundaries here, and they definitely crossed the line. So interesting Flipgrid video. So thank you guys for sharing your opinions. But now for you guys here in the swamp, a musical treat. Because one day when I was driving into school, when that was still a thing, a song came on the radio from my youth that I hold near and dear to my heart. and it's by the band Linkin Park. So feel free to call your parents over; they'll know exactly who they are. All right, and the name of the song is "One Step Closer to the Edge." It's actually the first single that they had. So I want you to listen to this song from the year 2000. Right, so we're talking this song's 20 years old at this point, which is crazy. But anyway, why is this an appropriate song for the colonists following the intolerable acts? All right, so listen to the lyrics, listen to the music, jam out if you want to. Start moshing around your bedrooms or your kitchen table or whatever. Just don't pick up chairs and start throwing them, please. I don't want to hear from your parents that you started destroying the house. All right, but the music might make you feel that way. All right, so here's the song, Linkin Park from 2000, One Step Closer. And after this, I'm going to ask you, why do you think this is the appropriate song for where we are on the road to revolution right here, right now? Here we go. If this was in the class, you better believe I'd be moshing around the classroom. I cannot take this anymore. Saying everything I said before. All these words, they make no sense. I find bliss in ignorance. Less I hear, the less you say. You'll find that out anyway. Just like before. Everything you say to me says you want to step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to breathe. 'Cause I'm one step closer to the edge. I'm about to break. I think the answers are so clear. Wish I could find a way to disappear. All these thoughts, they make no sense. I found this in ignorance. Nothing seems to go away over and over again. Just like before. Everything you say to me says you want to step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to breathe. 'Cause I'm one step closer to the edge. I'm about to break. Everything you say to me says you want to step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to breathe. 'Cause I'm one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. Oh boy. Here we go. Musical breakdown. Break! Wow. What a song. I don't know if you could have contained yourself. I was up out of my chair. I was jamming out. I was headbanging to that. That is what I call music. But the question is, well, why is that the perfect anthem or rallying cry for the patriotic contingent or the patriotic citizens at this point following the intolerable acts? Why are they going to, what do you mean they're about to break? Everything you say to me, I'm about to break. What do you mean they're going to break? What are they going to do? All right. So one day I was driving to work, and like I said, the song came on. I said, this song is perfect because now everything that the king does, everything that Parliament does is just pushing the colonists closer and closer and closer to the edge, to the point where they're about to break. Now, what could break mean? Break could mean breaking off and declaring independence. We're getting there, though. We're getting there. But every time the British do anything, every time the British taxes them or enact some kind of policy, they're just pushing the colonists closer and closer to a breaking point. So I hope that song wasn't too cringeworthy for you, but fantastic. Fantastic. As is today's lesson, folks. So Who's getting pushed to the edge? Who's getting closer? Believe it or not, it's not everybody. It's not everybody. But we do start to see unification occur or unity start to arise in the colonies following the punishment of the people of Massachusetts. Patriots are those who want independence and they want it now. They want to support their Massachusetts brothers. So what do? They close their shops and start boycotting British goods throughout the 13 colonies. They also say, oh, you want to close their harbor? They start sending food and money to them. And also, they start considering, look at this quote here, an attack made on one of our sister colonies is an attack made on all of British America. So look at that symbolism there. Look at how they're referring to each other as sister colonies. So almost this idea of family. But believe it or not everybody was at this breaking point. And that, of course, is the loyalist contingent, those that want to stay loyal with Great Britain. And they would be the ones that say, well, the Bostonians have gone too far. They lost their minds. And they should pay back the money for the tea that they destroyed. Look at this one. The Patriots are misguided terrorists. Wow, terrorists. And we should stay loyal to our mother country. So these guys definitely were on different ends of the spectrum on how they should respond to what took place in Boston and the punishment that is going to be passed on the people of Massachusetts. Now, so many people are talking about it that the colonies decide to have a meeting. And that meeting is going to be referred to as the First Continental Congress. And that is now what we're going to turn our attention to. So this meeting is going to take place at Philadelphia at a building known as Carpenter's Hall. And this is what you have to do for today's activity. Right, so the first thing you have to do is you're going to have to view a separate screencast. This is one I actually made in the past, so you're actually going to see me down here in Mr. D's class when I made this video. All right, but First Continental Congress, it's basically the introduction to the lesson, and it's also going to talk about, well, the First Continental Congress has to decide how they're going to respond to what happened in Massachusetts and the treatment that Massachusetts is now getting because of the Boston Tea Party. All right. So watch the screencast. It'll introduce the topic to you. It will also present the different options that you're going to have to analyze on this separate document. So it's called Decisions of the First Continental Congress Activity. All right. Nothing we haven't done before. All right. So there's going to be multiple options that you're going to have to analyze. So the first thing you're going to have to do is summarize each policy. All right. So summarize just in a few words, less than 15 words max here. Then that plan will have pros and cons. So I need you to write me a pro and a con. A pro is a positive effect that this plan could present, and a con, of course, would be a negative. This is very similar to what we just did with the T Act activity. Now, this question. All right, the First Continental Congress is meeting because they want to end the tension between themselves and the mother country. So, do you think that that proposed solution is going to be effective to end the tensions? Why or why not? All right, so you're going to do that for, I believe it's 7 different ones, all right, 7 or 8 different options. Okay, when you're done, over here, I want you to rank them. All right, so simply, which one do you think is the best decision? Why? Which one do you think is the worst decision? And why? Make sure you justify your opinion here. Okay, and then step 3 says using the Continental Congress 1774 outcomes PDF, what did the First Continental Congress decide to do? Predict. Do you think these decisions will be effective in ending the hostility between the American colonists and Britain? Why or why not? So that'll be found on Classroom, and it's a PDF doc that's going to look like this. It's actually 3 pages. I'm already on page 3, but you're going to see it says student handout number 2, outcomes. All right. So over here, you have a few little paragraphs. And I just wanted you to record what the First Continental Congress actually did and then predict. Do you think that will end the hostility and tension between the American colonists and Britain? Okay, folks. All right, if you have any questions, emails, or private comments, all right, looking forward to the great effort that you guys are going to put on this activity. And Wishing you a wonderful day. All right, a wonderful, let me just double check. Oh my goodness, it's Friday. You have yourselves a fantastic weekend. And how about this? Feel free to take all weekend and complete this assignment. I'll be checking it in on Sunday. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. All right, take care of yourselves.